Tactical grenades and tactical equipment pieces have been around since Call of Duty 4, but technically they were around even earlier if you want to count things like smoke grenades in the World War II era games. Most tactical equipment pieces, they're pretty harmless. They add a little bit of debt to the game, but some tacticals, they've gotten under everybody's skin. And today, we're going to get salty. Welcome to the channel, everybody. Jimmy, your Chaos. Today, we're going to be going over my picks for the 10 most annoying tactical equipment pieces in Call of Duty history. You let me know in the comments which of these you thought was the most annoying. Drop a like. Make sure you are subscribed. And let's start off at number 10 with the Dome Shield. The Dome Shield appeared one time in Call of Duty. Can you guess what Call of Duty it was in? It was Infinite Warfare. But I think we should all agree this was one of the most annoying tacticals in the franchise. It was basically just copy-pasted from Halo 3. And not only did it bring gunfights to a complete standstill, but it also just made the game feel less like Call of Duty and more like Halo, which was the exact opposite of what people wanted from Call of Duty back in 2016. Now, I know a lot of people really like Infinite Warfare now, and that's totally okay. But we need to agree that the Dome Shield was an easy target for people's annoyances, both because of what it represented for COD as a franchise at that time, and because of how it destroyed the pace of the game. It was a get-out-of-jail-free card for whoever was holding it because you could completely stop gunfights in their tracks. You could make it way too easy to capture domination flags or even plant bombs. All you had to do was start capturing the objective, and then if somebody started challenging you, throw down your Dome Shield, finish your business. Definitely one of the most annoying tactical equipment pieces in COD history, even if you were someone who liked Infinite Warfare. Before we move on, guys, make sure you join the new Team Chaos Discord. The link is at the top of the description, and if you want to join and become part of the live streams, that link is at the top of the description as well. At number 9, the Black Hat. This is one that you didn't see super often online, but when you did see it, it was frustrating. It was. The Black Hat was this little device. You could use it to hack enemy equipment and score streaks, flipping possession of them to your team. This meant if you were running things like UAVs, Claymore, sentry guns, Guardians, or basically any kind of set-it-and-forget-it equipment, one person on the enemy team could completely ruin your day by simply equipping Black Hats and the Engineer perk. The more valuable the hacked item, the longer it would take to flip possession, which meant a lot of downtime for the user. But if you were going up against someone who knew how to stay hidden and use Black Hats to their advantage, this was frustrating. I mean, you grind for your UAV or your sentry gun and you call it in, and then a few seconds later, the announcer told you enemies had hacked it, meaning somebody on the other team just got a free streak. And then if you get into choppers and stuff like that, you just get plain pissed off. At number 8, the 9 Bang. It only appeared in 2 Call of Duty games, those being COD Ghost and Black Ops 4. But it most certainly made its mark, made a name for itself in both of those games. It was basically a flashbang on steroids. And while you did have to charge it up a little bit before you threw it, the end result was a flashbang that would hit people up to 9 times instead of once. This made it virtually impossible to shoot back against the person who threw it. There was also just the added annoyance of having to stand there and get flashed 9 times in a row. And there was nothing you could do. The Ghost 9 Bang was definitely a bit awkward to use, and the Black Ops 4 version was technically a specialist equipment piece and not a proper tactical, but I knew if I left the 9 Bang off this list that people would be yelling at me in the comments and telling me I forgot it, so there it is. I did not forget it. At number 7, EMP Grenades. They're not always part of a Call of Duty's multiplayer experience, but whenever they are, they can get frustrating really quickly. They're simple. They explode, they do a hefty amount of damage to enemy kill streaks or equipment pieces in the radius, as well as disabling the HUD of any player who's lucky enough to be in the area. When you pair them with the Engineer perk, EMP Grenades can be powerful. But if you're going up against somebody running EMPs, you know how annoying it can be. A common tactic with EMP Grenades is to toss them across the map whenever they're available, which means if you're on the receiving end, you're constantly going to be losing your HUD minimap, which is frustrating when you're trying to call in a kill streak or get a handle on where the enemy team is spawning. Super underrated tactical equipment, but also super annoying to go up against when somebody really knows how to use them. At number 6, the Heartbeat Sensor. It was a gun attachment in the original Modern Warfare trilogy, but for Modern Warfare 2019, Infinity Ward decided to make it a standalone equipment piece you could hold. Not only was the Heartbeat Sensor super effective in multiplayer, it would expose everyone who wasn't using Ghost, but it was insane in Warzone because almost nobody was running Ghost. So all you had to do was, to see everybody, was just hit your tactical button, whip out your little green tablet, and you got an exact ping on every single enemy in the upcoming 50 meters. The Heartbeat Sensor made Warzone much easier because unless the enemy had Ghost equipped, there was no way to avoid it. So if you pulled it from your loadout or happened to find it on the ground during the first half of the game, you were going to have a huge advantage over the rest of the lobby. It was absolutely nuts. I'm still not entirely sure how Infinity Ward thought it was balanced for a Battle Royale game, but hey, they did. Now we arrive at the top 5. Stim shot. It's actually become a staple of Call of Duty ever since Modern Warfare 2019 and Warzone 2020. I mean, I think it's a crutch equipment piece. The stim shot is a single-use tactical that will instantly start to health regen you once you apply it, while also sometimes giving you a little speed boost, although that part depends on which game you're playing. Stim shot has become an absolute essential for people with super aggressive playstyles, because if you get shot down to half health, all you have to do is hit the stim button, get all your health back, and then go hose down the person who was shooting at you, who will definitely be surprised when you run around the corner and you have all your HP back magically. The reason the stim shot is annoying to me is because it's often so fast and so unexpected that it can get you into sticky situations if you're not the one using it. You shoot somebody 4 times, they run around a corner to avoid death, you chase after them to clean them up, and then all of a sudden, they have all their health back in a half of a second because they had a stim shot. How many gunfights have you lost because the target happened to be running stim? And with how many ways there are to replenish your tactical equipment in modern Call of Duty games, it's a staple. Personally, I miss when Call of Duty was a bit simpler, but I can definitely see the appeal for newer players. That doesn't mean it's not really annoying, because it is. At number 4, tactical insertions. The TAC insert has been moved to the field upgrade category over the last few years, and frankly, I think it's a better place for it because it was a little too strong for a normal tactical equipment piece. Back in the COD Golden Age, you could spawn in with a tactical insertion every single life, and if you were going up against someone running tacs, it was one of the most frustrating experiences in the world because you literally had no idea where to expect them. The TAC insert would let you pick where you were going to spawn next. So if you were a stealthy player or a super aggressive player, they were amazing for constantly getting behind the enemy team and pulling off crazy streaks. But again, if you were going against somebody using tacs, you could constantly be getting shot in the back because no matter how well you kept tracking the enemy spawns, there would be that one player who you would never know. You wouldn't have the proper intel, or unless you were running sitrep or engineer, which not many people were, and you just got shot. At number 3, the trophy system. Another tactical equipment piece that has been moved to the field upgrade category in recent years, but back in the classic Modern Warfare 3 Black Ops 2 days, the trophy system was part of your custom class. It was very powerful. Just like the modern version, the classic trophy was a placeable item. You could intercept incoming grenades, keep you safe from frags, stuns, flashes, and a lot of other stuff. It was annoying to go up against because the only way to get rid of them is by running up and smashing it or shooting it. You can't destroy it with a grenade because, well, it's going to destroy the grenade before it reaches it. With how many times you've seen somebody capturing a Dom flag or sitting alone on a hard point, so you throw a grenade at them only for that grenade to get erased by the trophy system, and the enemy player just gets a bunch of objective points. I understand the necessity of the trophy system in a game like Call of Duty, and I think overall it's a very positive addition to the formula. But if we're talking about the most annoying tactical equipment pieces in the franchise, it's probably up there. Going up against a team of trophy system users in domination, that's one of the most tilting things in the world. At number 2, the portable radar. It debuted in the original Modern Warfare 3, where it was one of the most annoying things to go up against because it was extremely difficult to figure out when somebody was actually using it, but it was also super effective. The portable radar was a placeable item that would give you this huge sweep on your minimap, pinging enemy locations with red dots, even if they weren't running Assassin. The device was small. The only noise it made was this tiny little ping sound every few seconds. So if you weren't running sitrep, you were probably never going to actually see an enemy portable radar on the ground. But the reason this thing was annoying was because of how strong it was. It was basically a free UAV that could be placed anywhere, and if you were going up against somebody who liked to camp in a certain building or up on a mountain or alleyway for a cheap Moab, the portable radar was going to make it almost impossible to sneak up on them. You couldn't end their streak, again, unless you were running Assassin. I don't think the portable radar ever returned after OG Modern Warfare 3, at least not as a tactical equipment piece, and that was probably for the best. There's no reason there should be a free UAV in your inventory every single time you spawn in. To me, that's cheap. And at number 1 today has to be the Shock Charge. Debuted in Black Ops 2, has made a triumphant return in Black Ops 6, where it's arguably even more annoying than it was because it's smaller, making it harder to dodge, and the movement is much quicker in Black Ops 6, which makes the Shock Charge even more of a problem when you get hit. It will stick to anything it hits when you throw it, and it will sit there until somebody gets close enough to set it off, triggering a bunch of shockwaves to blast out and lock the enemy in place for a few seconds, which that makes them easy pickings for whoever or whatever you happen to be camping from. Shock charges are the ultimate camper's tool, and that's why absolutely everybody hates them. There's no skill. They're not tricky. They're a get-out-of-jail-free card for whoever decides to throw them in their class and throw them across the map or on a random wall or walkway. There's nothing worse than running around the map and going on a long streak only to have your dominance and momentum completely shut down by a big shock from a tiny little stick on the ground or above a doorway that you didn't see. The shock charge is the single most annoying tactical in COD history. Nobody will convince me otherwise. And there, yeah, that's it. Let me know 2 tacticals that we did not mention that deserved to be mentioned in the annoying category, and I'll see you soon.